Hello, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Mouth Dancing with your host, Young. Thank you for tuning in, as always. This is episode 83. And the next episode after that will be 84 and so on. Just the normal sequence of numbers. You know, if I'm around to record them. Hopefully I will be. Hopefully I don't, have some sort of catastrophe in between now and then. And I'll be around to record some future episodes. But for now, I can only assume that I'll be around to make this episode, because tomorrow's not promised. I mean, my next second is not even promised, I could just have like a sudden massive heart attack and die. So don't take any moments of your life for granted, and don't assume that I'm going to be around to record the next podcast. So please enjoy this one with your full heart and mind and soul, and truly take it all in for what it is, and love every moment of it. And I'm going to love recording every moment of it, and I'm going to love thinking about people listening to it. It's all about appreciating the here and the now. And living in the moment, as they say. If you have some sort of a guru or something, they probably told you should live in the moment, right? I've actually seen that a lot on like internet memes and stuff like that, and I believe them. Today there are wildfires, just raging all around me right now. I'm in Seattle, and there's massive wildfires just everywhere. There were some this summer, and now this fall there are some as well. And the smoke is just blanketing the city in like a permanent fog of death and destruction. It's like we're sort of in Satan's butthole right now, just breathing in his toxic fumes from his butthole all day and night. It's probably not healthy. They say, like the weather forecasting, the numbers for it are like in the 200s, or they were yesterday. Right now they're like in the 190s. And, the color scheme, in terms of air quality for this area is bright red. And when it's healthy, it's green. And then it goes up to like yellow, and then orange, and then red. And then beyond that, it's like purple, and then I think black at some point. Some parts of the state are in purple, like I think where the fires actually are. But where I'm at, I think we're mostly just getting the smoke. There's also fires in Vancouver, up north, and then down south in Oregon somewhere. And then to the east of me, like in Redmond, I think there's some sort of a fire over there somewhere. And all that shit is just wafting around all over this area. It's insane, dude. You go outside and it looks like you're on like another planet or something. The atmosphere is totally nasty and funky and smoky. I skateboarded in it yesterday for a little while. It probably wasn't a good idea, but I sort of needed to, blow off some steam. And it gave me a runny nose, and I was getting short of breath faster than usual. But like COVID, it's probably a government experiment or some sort of a bioweapon against China, to test out how people respond in pandemics and to see what happens to the population, and to test, vaccines on us and make billions of dollars off of it. Well, we all know that's pretty much a government experiment, or some sort of a government weapon maybe, or something experiment that just went awry. I think these wildfires are a similar thing. Bill Gates is involved with all that pandemic type stuff. He's been studying diseases for a while and vaccines, and he's in this area of the country. He could be involved with these wildfires, and Elon Musk as well, right? They could be testing out some sort of making the Earth's atmosphere kind of like another planet, like Mars or something, and seeing how we survive on it. We're kind of like their guinea pigs, right? Because they're psychopaths and they don't really care about human life or anything. They could just be trying out hey, let's try to make the atmosphere here less hospitable. Make it as inhospitable as possible and see how humans fare in this environment. And it's just a big experiment for colonizing Mars or another planet where the environment is more harsh than that of Earth, and seeing how well we do in it. I think that's what's going on right now. And I'm just an unwitting guinea pig in this whole thing. I didn't ask for this, but I have no option. I can't just wave away the smoke. It's not going to go away if I say, hey, I don't want to see that anymore. It's here, and I got to deal with it. And so do all the people around me in this area. But in some ways, the environment might even actually be worse than some of those other planets right now in this area specifically. It's really hellish right now. It's like, if you went into hell and there's just lava bubbling and nauseous and toxic gases floating around and just making you choke and cough. That's what it's like here. It's all thanks to, possibly Bill Gates and possibly Elon Musk and possibly other people, high up people, the elites in the government and whatnot. Maybe people in the military or intelligence services are involved. I don't know. It's possible. And I think I have a pretty good hunch that that's what's happening. Next I wanted to talk about GMOs. We've all heard about genetically modified organisms, right? Remember a few years back there was a big controversy about it. People were like, don't eat, corn from Monsanto. Their corn is genetically modified. And those genetic modifications will do something to your body if you eat that corn. It might give you mutations or something, right? And I was wondering how that would work exactly, because it's like food, right? So you would eat the corn and digest it and poop out some of it and absorb some of it as nutrition. But would the corn somehow alter your DNA if the corn itself is genetically modified? That seems kind of like a stretch to me. I don't understand how that would work. Because humans have been messing with produce and fruits and vegetables that we eat for a long time. Since the dawn of agriculture, we've been breeding things differently and whatnot. Crossbreeding and cross-pollinating and all that. So far, I don't think that has done anything except yield larger fruits and grains and vegetables. We cultivated these things to be extra big and juicy. Because, like a wild berry, they're tiny. But after we cultivated them, we made them really huge. So maybe that's just what's going on with the corn. Maybe they're just making it better. And it's not necessarily going to mess with our DNA. If it is, I don't understand how that would work. Is there some sort of a little robot inside each cob of corn that comes out and tinkers with your DNA or something? That seems kind of crazy. And I don't like crazy ideas. So stop, trying to scare people with your, wacky ideas, your conspiracy theories. I don't appreciate it. And I think a lot of people listening don't appreciate it either. It's just a scare tactic to make us, vote for certain politicians or buy certain products or behave a certain way, and you gotta recognize that when it's happening and respond appropriately. So eat lots of genetically modified food like milk or corn or grains. It's fine, it doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt you. Probably good for the environment too, because you can create like a super corn, kind of like the Incredible Hulk of corn. Like it's just impervious to any kind of bad weather or like animals eating it or bugs eating it. It's a win-win situation for everyone. Lastly, I just wanted to put this out there. It's pretty important that you guys hear this. The cops are not your friends. We all know that, right? We get this messaging all our lives that the cops are there to protect us and serve us. That's not true, though. The cops, their whole purpose is to serve the elites and the rich people. They're protecting them from riots, from violence, from theft, and just general chaos and disorder. They're there to protect the rich people and the really powerful people from the mob, from the rabble-rousers like us. That's what they're really there for. That's why cops kill people all the time or commit police brutality all the time. And people are always surprised by it, like, why did that happen? Well, it's because the cops, they're not there for us. Same thing with the military. The military is not there to protect America. The military is there to get oil and land and, resources and money, gold, whatever, for the elites that secretly run America. And the same thing with the intelligence services, FBI, CIA, NSA, whatever. There's a million of these alphabet organizations or agencies, and their sole purpose is to serve the elites and the rich people and to oppress the general citizenry, keep tabs on us to make sure we don't get out of line, and also to gather information about enemy countries for the elites. Keep that in mind. They're not there for average Americans, the ones who pay taxes and do all the work. We're basically like vassals or like peasants or slaves, for the rich people and the elite. And that's what those three organizations or those three, groups serve: the police, the military, and the intelligence services. Always keep that in mind. You'll understand their behavior better. You won't be bewildered by it all the time, like, whoa, why did that cop shoot that guy for no reason? Why did the CIA commit that coup in another country? Why did the military invade a country for no reason that I can really understand? They did it for the elites. They did it to protect the elites, they did it to serve the elites, and they did it to enrich the elites. Now you know. And knowing's half the battle, as they say in G.I. Joe. They used to say that in that cartoon. And it's true, though. Knowing is maybe more than half the battle. Maybe it's like 3/4, and the rest is doing something with that knowledge. Okay, well, anyway, I'd like to end the episode on that note. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.